Hey guys, welcome to one of the most requested videos since I have given birth. I gave birth 5 months ago now, so little baby boy is 5 months, and I've had so many requests for this video, so I thought whilst I'm just free and I'm just ready, I might as well film it. So anyway, straight on into the video. This is going to be my labour and delivery story. My labour went on for like 48 hours, so I need to speed this up and make it into a very quick story, so I'll jump straight on into the video. Also, I just want to introduce my baby boy Ibrahim. Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. This is Ibrahim. He's going to be sitting right next to me. I might move him forward in a little while, but if you hear any jingling, he's got his toys. Okay, so my labour started when I was 38 weeks. I had like slight period cramps all day. I had slight period cramps all day and I just felt the urge to clean. I just needed to clean and I felt like things were not clean enough. So I went to bed not thinking anything of it because I had had period cramps for like 2 weeks prior to this day. I fell asleep around about 11 and I got woken up at around about 11:30 and my waters had broken. So what happened was I felt like a warm gush. Okay, this might be hard to film, but anyway, I felt like a warm gush and I knew it was my waters, but it scared me. Like so many people were explaining like what it might feel like and etc, but when you actually go through it, it don't feel like what you think. Anyway, my waters broke and I rung the hospital and they said just come in, let us check you, blah 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 blah. So we packed the bags. So me and my husband actually thought, right, this is it, I'm going to be admitted. We didn't know that once your waters break they give you 24 hours. So we packed the bags, we packed the car, and he bought me a McDonald's on the way because I said if I'm in labour I need energy. Hey guys, so I think this is the beginning of my labour vlog because my waters broke at 11 p.m. and it's now 1 a.m. and because they've broken a lot, I've been told to come in, so yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, so we're heading towards hospital. Let's see what they say about it.
I've had a shower, so I'm nice and fresh.
You got the car seat ready at the back?
Yes, we do. I don't know if you can see. We've packed up all the bags and we're on our way. So he bought me some McDonald's and we get to the hospital and they check me and they say, you're not dilated at all, but it was definitely your waters. We're going to give you 24 hours and if you don't dilate any further, then we're going to have to induce you, and if you are dilating by yourself, then we'll bring you in anyways and get you admitted and just keep an eye on you because apparently after 24 hours it's dangerous after the waters have broke. I went home and that whole night I didn't sleep. So we got to the hospital I think like 2 a.m. or something. I didn't sleep at all. I had like mild contractions. My waters were just continuously going. I was changing pads like every 15 minutes, every half an hour. My husband got probably like 2 hours at night. All through the day, I was having contractions and I was due to go in around about 8 p.m. in the evening the next day. So I was having contractions. My husband took me to like Morrison's, Tesco. We went out to eat, like just to try to get my mind off of it. But they weren't like really bad, but they were kind of like every 6-7 minutes. They weren't that bad to be honest, it was just like period pains. So at around about 8 p.m, we obviously loaded up the car again and off we went to the hospital. Now when I got to the hospital, I told them that I had contractions and they said, because I really didn't want the Pitocin drip because I've heard it's like awful, so I said to them, please will you just check me, and if I'm dilated I don't need the Pitocin. So they checked me and I was 2 centimeters, and they said because I had progressed from 0 to 2 in like that first 24 hours, less than 24 hours, I wouldn't need the drip yet. So I got happy. I was just in like the first part. I wasn't in the labour room. I was just in the admissions part. So I was in that first part for a while. My contractions started getting a little bit more intense. I had to keep going to the toilet for some reason. I needed to I don't know, I couldn't get on the bed. I needed to just sit on the floor. I had my big exercise ball. I was rolling around on that. My husband actually slept for like a couple of hours on the chair whilst I was like rolling around somewhere on the floor because I just didn't want him near me. I just wanted to be like kind of on my own, and do my thing, just get into the rhythm of it. So after, I think it was around about midnight. To be honest, it's kind of a blur, but I'm trying to remember the times. I'm pretty sure it was around midnight, and they checked me, and I think I had gone to like 4 centimeters. So they said there's a room available in the delivery suite, so if I want to go down then I can. And I said, of course, I want to go get my labor started. So when I got to that room, they checked me again, and apparently I was still on 2 centimeters. So whoever checked me before wasn't right. I was still stuck on 2 centimeters, and they said because the waters had broke and the baby's heart rate was a tiny bit lower than expected, they needed to start me on Pitocin. So obviously I said yeah, even though I didn't want to. I said yeah. Also, I'm gonna like include I have a couple of clips from my labor vlog. I think I've included it prior, but anyways, I'm going to tell you I took a couple of clips, but I couldn't vlog. You'll find out why. I'm actually already in the labour room because it's just all happened so quick. My waters broke and I actually came in to be induced, but when I got here I was already 2 centimeters, so I've been moved to the birth ward. So yeah, this is the room that I'm in here, and yeah, so I'm having really strong contractions right now. They come in like every 3 minutes. So they connected up the drip, and I'm not even like exaggerating, within 15 minutes my pain went from like 2 to like a 10. Like, it was horrible. It was exactly what people explained to me. It was horrible. It's stressing me out. I need coffee. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what happened. Oh yeah, then I needed to like, I felt like too much information, but I felt like I needed to go to the toilet, and she said you don't need to, it's just the baby pushing. And I kept going to the toilet and walking around, and I couldn't go, so I guess it was just the baby. The drip was on for a few hours, and I think it was around about 5 a.m. they checked me again, and I was a 6. I was a 6, but again the baby's heart rate was a tiny bit dropping, but it was just like whatever. I was in agony for hours. Like, that pain was a 10. I was a screamer. The Pitocin is horrible. So yeah, I was screaming for hours, and I didn't want the epidural at all. I don't know why. I had that in my head. I didn't want it. So I was refusing that. I had the injection, I don't know what it's called, but I had the injection in my thigh. That put me to sleep, but I was waking up with the contractions and going back to sleep again. And then they checked me, I think it was around about 8 or 9 a.m. Yeah, and I was still a 6. I had not progressed. And I remember I was in like so much pain. I was telling my husband I really want the epidural, but before my labour I had told him beforehand, don't let me get the epidural because I don't want it. If I ask for it, just say no. So obviously he was following my wishes, and honestly my husband was the greatest support. I couldn't have done it without him. He was helping me breathe, he was giving me water through a straw, he was massaging me, he was like, he didn't leave me for a second. He was holding my hand, like he literally got me through that labour. So the pain was horrible, and with every contraction from about 9 a.m. I'd say from about 7 a.m. ish, 6, 7, I was pushing with every contraction. So I was pushing for hours. So rolling on to around about 12, half 12 ish in the afternoon. So obviously I had been in labour for quite a while, from right at the beginning. 24 hours, well, I don't know how long, but whatever. It was around about half 12 in the afternoon, and I asked for the epidural. I said to my husband, look, I know I'm in my right state of mind. I was on the gas and air. I said, I need the epidural. And he said, you can do it without it. And he made sure I knew all the risks, and he read the paper to me, and I said, I want it. I cannot go through this pain any longer, because when she checked me, because she was refusing to check me, she said she doesn't need to check me yet, and every time we check, you're at increased risk of infection. And I was pushing, and I was telling her I need to push, and she said, no, you don't need to push. She said, the baby's not there yet, we checked you a few hours ago, you was a 6, and because it's your first baby, it's impossible to get to a 10 so quick, whatever. Obviously we believe in the midwives. So I said I want epidural, because she said you still got hours to go. This was around 12:30. So she went, and thank God she literally came back, the person who does it. She literally came and she did my epidural like so fast. And because the pain with Pitocin, they say, is a lot worse than normal contractions. So when she told me to stay still, and obviously she had just put the needle into my back for the epidural, and I had a contraction at that exact time, and she told me, if you move now, it's going to hit your nerve. So I remember that contraction. I was holding onto my midwife by her hips, and I was squeezing her, and I was screaming in her ear, and I was like, hurry up, like the pain is so bad. So I got the epidural, and I had to get a catheter. Yeah, did I get a catheter first? Yeah, I did. So they put a catheter in me because I had not passed urine either in all this time. And automatically, literally within 10 minutes, the pain went all the way back down to like a 2. So it just felt like pressure. It was like those initial contractions. So this is where things went sideways. So she was telling me, after the epidural, the doctor actually came in, and she said, obviously, her waters are broke, we need to get her going. She felt me. She said I was a 10. So I think I was a 10 anyways before the epidural, which is so impressive. I got to a 10 without an epidural, and yeah, she said I needed to do my practice pushing. So she wanted to feel the baby's head at the same time whilst pushing. So she had her hand on the baby's head, and she said something doesn't feel quite right, but we'll wait. So she had a look at the monitor, and she realised that his heart rate had actually dropped really fast, and it was dropping whilst he was inside me. So what she did is she said she needs to put a clip on his head to check his heart rate, just to make sure everything's okay and he's okay. So she put a clip on his head, and it proved his heart rate was dropping quite fast. And she made I was really tired because I had been in labour for a lot of hours. So I was in and out of consciousness at this point. All through my labour, I was in and out of consciousness. My blood pressure was up and down, up and down. I was passing out, I was coming back. So she actually made my husband sign a consent form for a C-section, an emergency C-section. Yes. So what she said is, she said whilst I was pushing for those many hours, even though I wasn't ready, obviously my body was just pushing, she said his head had actually gone bent, so it was into my pelvis. Rather than down, it had gone to the side, and his neck was bent and his heart rate was dropping. She said if we don't get the baby out now, then he's not going to make it. So it all happened so fast. There were like 10 doctors in the room, so many people came rushing in. My husband kind of got freaked out, and they gave him scrubs, and I could see him, he was wearing scrubs, and I was like, why is he wearing scrubs? I didn't even know what was going on. She was explaining it to me, but it wasn't really going in my head because I had so much gas in it. So he had scrubs on, and all of a sudden I remember they were just running, they were pushing my bed so fast, they were running to theatre. And they said to me when I was in theatre, they're asking questions, and I was in and out of consciousness again. I remember I kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm so tired, I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening, my eyes keep closing, and they were asking me my name, and then I couldn't answer. It was horrible. And then the surgeon came, and he said, what we can do is we can try an episiotomy, which is where they cut you to make more space for his head, and use forceps to pull him and get his head straight. If that doesn't work, you're in the theatre, you've got your epidural, you can't feel anything, we'll do a C-section. So he said, if you can do a few good pushes when I've cut you, then he'll come out. But obviously I was so tired, and they knew that, which is why they wanted to do the C-section. I just couldn't push. So what he did was, he did the episiotomy and everything, and he told me to push. Now, I had this thing in my mind where I knew that they were going to do a C-section. My husband was whispering in my ear, and he's like, look, they're going to have to do surgery, and you really need to push. Like, you've got it, you can do it, push. And I don't even know where the strength came from, but with all my might, I just pushed. I don't know where the strength came from. I pushed. Whenever my contractions were coming, when the contraction eased off, I was just literally unconscious. I was literally just gone. Like, it was horrible. I think I did about 6 pushes, and I passed out again. And I remember my husband like shaking me. He was like, wake up, wake up. And I opened my eyes, and they had the baby in front of me, and the baby was blue. He wasn't crying or anything. And he said, you've done it, he's born. And I remember just saying to my husband, he's not crying. They had taken him away. They were doing something with him on the side, and there were so many doctors around him. And I remember, even though I was so tired, I was out of it. I said to him, go to the baby, he's not crying, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. So he wasn't breathing when he came out. He was completely blue, literally completely blue. I just remember him, he was in front of me. I remember how blue he was. My husband weren't leaving. He said, the doctors have got it, I'm staying with you, the doctors have got it. So he was like in between, he didn't know which way to go, bless him. And then I passed out. And the next thing I remember is waking up inside the room that I was supposed to give birth in. And I looked over and my husband was doing skin to skin with the baby. Now I have like kind of a memory. 1 second. I have like a memory of my husband asking. I remember I was being wheeled and my husband said, can I do skin to skin? And the nurse was like, of course, like literally you can. But I think I was kind of semi-conscious. But the thing that I really remember is when I woke up and my husband was doing skin to skin with him. And I was like, he's okay. Like, you got to understand, I was passed out. I didn't know whether my baby was alive or not. And when I opened my eyes and I seen him holding my baby, it was like he's okay, he's breathing. Then what happened was I kept passing out. So obviously the nurses kept coming in. My blood pressure was extremely low. I had lost, they said, like just under a litre of blood in such a fast time, because every time I was pushing from 5 a.m. I was losing blood. So I had lost so much blood. I know. Oh, by the way, he was born at 2:30. Yes, he was. He was born at 2:30, mashallah. But yeah, the nurses kept coming in. They were giving me like toast. They were giving me toast. But I was just vomiting it straight out. It's a story of you. I'm telling the story of you. Obviously, I wanted to breastfeed, but I couldn't at that time. Okay, here. So my husband actually had to give him his first bottle. My husband had to do his first like wash and getting him dressed, and yeah, he just literally smashed it. Like, he did so good that first 24 hours. I'm trying to think, did we miss anything? Yeah, my husband actually said that whilst I was pushing, they whispered to him to say that the baby's head is out, and that there was one more push. So I don't know why they didn't tell me that the baby's head was out. Maybe I'd start stressing or I'd start like moving. I don't know why they didn't tell me. But he said from his experience, and I'll have to do like a Q&A with him or something, but he said once he's seen that baby, like he was just like, okay, he's out, like he's out, he's fine, he's out. But it was so scary just to see him blue. And then I was passing out and waking up, and then I was passing out. All in all, my labour and delivery wasn't what I expected. I actually wanted a water birth. I wanted a straightforward water birth. But obviously, births don't happen how you intend them to happen. He came, he was healthy, mashallah. He was 7.5 pounds. Was you? 7.234 to be exact. And he was born at 2:30. So yeah, that is the story of my baby. I'm just trying to think if I can remember anything else. I had to stay in hospital for 3 days because he contracted an infection because he was in my stomach for too long after my waters had broke, and then I had contracted the infection as well. So we were both on IV antibiotics for 3 days. I ended up having just over 20 stitches, and my recovery took around about 8 weeks just to be able to walk up the stairs normally. I couldn't sit. I was sitting on a donut for like a month. Yeah, I had to have like sit in the bath every single day, like 2 to 3 times a day for God knows how long, like weeks and weeks. And still now I've got problems, and I'm 5 months on. So yeah, that is the story of how he came. He sure made his entrance into this world. And did we miss anything, darling? Did we miss anything? Let me just think. Okay guys, so mind how I look, but today is discharge day. Today is day 3.
Been some long days, mate. Some long days.
So today is day 3. Mind the blood splattered bed, but this is him. And we're getting packed up. Just want to say as well, my midwife was incredible. Like her and my husband together worked as a team, and my husband got so emotional during my labor, literally so emotional, and she was supporting him. And even though I was semi-conscious, I could hear her how she was supporting him and supporting me. And I remember when I got my epidural, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm screaming, I'm so sorry, I can't hear you, and I've been ignoring you. She's been telling me to calm down, I'm okay. And she was like, no, it's okay. Like, she was so sweet. Like, I'm so glad I got the epidural as well. Even though I was a 10, I know I could have done it, but they said it was a really good job that I did get the epidural, because if not, they would have done the spinal tap on me to do my surgery. And also, they said if I was a couple more pushes away and he wouldn't have come out, they were actually gonna do a C-section, and I would have had the episiotomy done, so I would have had 2 surgeries. So yeah, that is the story of you, Baba. That's the story of you. So obviously there's a lot more. There's so much more to the story, but I don't want this video to be so super long, because to be honest, it might be boring to some guys, to some people. So I just kind of summed it up. So yeah, I was in hospital for 3 days, and then I got discharged, and recovery I've spoken about. And because of such a traumatic birth, I found it, not a lot of people talk about it, but I found it so hard to bond with him for the first few weeks. I felt like I was just a caretaker and not a mum, because I was recovering myself. I had so much to think about for myself. I couldn't even sit, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't even go to the toilet properly. Oh my god, there's so much to my recovery, like, there's so much. But I didn't feel like his mom at all. I just felt like someone had given me a baby, and I was to take care of this baby. I think after I started recovering and I could really spend time with him, because my husband was doing literally most of it. He was changing him, feeding him, everything. And then I really bonded with him. Hey guys, so I'm just editing this video. Literally, I've just filmed the video like an hour ago. I'm editing and realized I didn't end it. So I hope you guys enjoy my labor and delivery story, and I hope that if anyone's pregnant, inshallah, I pray that your whole delivery goes smooth. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.